Political dilemma in the wake of the return of former powerful Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i into the country's political arena. Now, the political analysts argue Matiang'i's rousing welcome during Friday's homecoming events in Gusii and Nyamira could mark the end of Raila's dominance in the Gusii region ahead of the 2027 presidential polls. Now, Matiang'i's return appears to have consolidated the Gusii region's support last witnessed during the reign of the region's kingpin Simeon Nyachai. Apollo Kamau tells us more. Take a look.
Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's return to his Gusii homeland in the company of ODM Governor Simba Arati, ODM MPs and a section of President William Ruto's allies signals what could be seen as a major shift in the Gusii politics dominated by ODM party leader Raila Odinga. At stake is the region's 1 million Gusii voting bloc, an acid test for Ruto and Odinga after Matiang'i declared his bid for the presidency on Friday to fix Kenya.
Raila does not have the influence he used to have. It's gone. In part because he is perceived to have betrayed the cause. It does not matter how much he tries to explain. The image is that you betrayed the cause, and therefore your influence is irrelevant.
But the big question remains, does Matiang'i have the wherewithal, the backing, influence and strategy to mount a serious presidential bid in 2027? Political analyst Professor Macharia Munene says the impact of Matiang'i's return will affect Odinga more than President Ruto, considering the Gusii region in South Nyanza is perceived as an ODM stronghold, meaning Odinga and Ruto, now in the broad-based government, are likely to be dealt a blow.
ODM is no longer, it's not quite finished as a force, but it's increasingly being spent. And you have a lot of people who realize that that is the case. His desire to strengthen Ruto, Ruto's presidency and chances, makes him increasingly out of tune with perceptions, the reality. So, and that's part of the reason Matiang'i now looks good,
The presence of Odinga and Ruto allies during Matiang'i's homecoming tour, some who were involved in planning the tour, means ODM and UDA fortunes in the region could be dwindling as Matiang'i moves in to fill the Gusii power vacuum left vacant by veteran politician Simeon Nyachai in the 90s and the year 2000s.
Tumetoa ndugu yetu Okenyo Fred akutane na kila mmoja ambaye anagombea kiti, na sisi hatutatusi mtu yoyote.
Ungependa kuonyesha Wakenya kuwa tuko tayari kuwania uongozi wa nchi hii, na yule ambaye tumemchagua ni kijana yetu anaitwa Fred Okenyo Matiang'i.
Signs that Odinga's political fortunes had declined emerged in the month of March when Odinga, during the unveiling of Shabana FC playing kit, was heckled by youth who chanted Ruto must go. In the IEBC 2022 presidential election results, Odinga garnered 264,988 votes compared to President Ruto's 135,140 votes. In the neighboring Nyamira County, Odinga garnered 104,477 votes, while Ruto got 63,645 votes.
It also implies that President Ruto is very vulnerable. And so you have people are jostling for positions who is likely to replace Ruto. And that's what we see. That's what we are seeing all these things. And say, oh yeah, he's going. So who will take over? And now that's where the crux of the matter is.
In his quest for the presidency, Matiang'i still has political baggage on his back. he has to contend with and which could derail his presidential ambitions: the Ruaraka land scandal and the River Yala extrajudicial killings, which could derail his presidential ambitions. With Nyamira and Gusii behind his presidential ambition, the former powerful cabinet minister will have to convince his fellow opposition leaders on why they should endorse him for the presidency, a political novice compared to Kalonzo Musyoka. Apul Kamau, TV 47.
All right, thank you so much.